Today, we're pushing NBA Commissioner Adam Silver about expansion and the potential return of the Seattle Supersonics. Silver held a press conference today in New York City following a meeting with the Board of Governors. He took questions from the media on everything from the Olympics to sports betting and the future of the league. KOMO senior reporter Chris Daniels asked Silver about the league potentially expanding back to Seattle.
It seems like it's written in the stars. The NBA is set for an expansion, as two high-profile cities have received an official date to talk business with the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Although details are yet to be given to the media, the latest statement from Silver is direct proof that the world of the NBA will likely meet two more teams. So, with interest from other cities shown as well, who are the primary candidates to enter the NBA? And more importantly, will we see teams from the Western Conference join the Eastern one? Whether you like it or not, the NBA is an ever-growing sport, and this means interest from high-market cities is growing by the day. For starters, it looks like Adam Silver has recognized that there is a question that needs to be addressed, and that is the expansion of the league to two more cities, with Las Vegas and Seattle being the leading cities to be given the green light. Of course, nothing is official yet, but if you were to ask Silver regarding this matter, he would rather have a positive view on the entire thing. The sport is growing and evolving, and so should we. Elaborating further on this, Silver said, "We have an NBA board meeting in July in Las Vegas, and my sense is it will be on the agenda to discuss, with full ownership now for the 30 teams, getting directly the existing owners' views on potential expansion. And it would be how we would begin further study of all the implications." There we have it. The date is set as well. In July, the owners of the NBA teams will give their verdict on something that they would rather avoid due to the dilution of the TV rights, as well as the drop of the salary cap percentage. Of course, all of these can be fixed with proper manners, but it eventually means that from 30 slices of the pie to 30 sides, the owners would have to add 2 more slices to be cut from the same pie. I know what you are thinking. The pie will grow by those 2 more slices adding ingredients beforehand, but it might be a bit more difficult to comprehend it for the long-term picture. An NBA expansion is a process that costs around $3 to $4 billion. The money would get divided evenly among the existing owners, and it would help the dilution process a lot. Furthermore, it's not like the teams are going to join right away. It's a process that takes 2 to 3 years from bid submission to approval, and then the teams can begin to play games. It also depends a lot on the availability of an arena that the NBA deems suitable. When I said it's written in the stars, I literally meant it. Unlike in 2008, when the Sonics left Key Arena for Oklahoma, they now have the Climate Pledge Arena built by the Oak View Group, a mega project costing $1.15 billion for the NHL's Kraken. But it has NBA specifications in it as well, as the owners wanted to make sure that if a potential return of the Supersonics is on the table, they won't be caught by surprise. But what is the big headache here? For example, the league got its new CBA with its players 2 years ago, and last summer, it reached agreements on contracts with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon worth around $76 billion for live game telecasts over 11 years. The deals took months to be completed, as Warner Bros. Discovery sued the league for being left out of the new deal, something that got settled in November last year. The sale of the Celtics, however, proved to be a big challenge for the NBA. The team from the Eastern Conference got sold for a record $6.1 billion, crushing the value of the Seahawks in the NFL, which stands at $5.45 billion. Silver admitted that the league and the owners are digesting the Celtics deal before the league considers expansion. Because even though the team is a benchmark when it comes to value, and we shouldn't put all the other squads in the same bracket, it gives the NBA owners a ballpark figure from which to base expansion fees. So, the numbers that Silver has presented to the cities like Seattle and Las Vegas are likely ones that the remainder of the league is happy with. Even though the headache of the Boston sale and the TV rights did prove to be a big challenge for them to tackle. But if you were to ask Silver, it's not like a deal is done and waiting for the dot on the I. They just recognize the interest from these two cities is the biggest, and they need to address it properly this July. Elaborating further on this matter, Silver said, Look, obviously, I know there is tremendous interest in Seattle. I know there is tremendous interest in Las Vegas, several other cities as well. Just to be clear, we haven't begun any sort of process. So even to the extent cities that have reached out, we've said, thank you for your interest, but we are not ready to take meetings yet and have more in-depth discussions. But we will have that opportunity early this summer again to talk to all the different ownership groups in the NBA and get a sense of expansion. I'll lastly say expansion, I think, over time makes sense. As for precise timing, I think we still need to work on that. Still, the Boston Celtics sale, although giving the NBA's commissioner a good number when it comes to setting a proper value for the entrance fee, also gave him something to think about in a deeper manner. According to Brian Windhorst from ESPN, the comments from Silver regarding an expansion became a lot bleaker and vaguer after the Celtics sale, which can be attributed to the fact that the market is reset by a gigantic sale. And there are some other obstacles that need proper addressing too. The NBA made a mistake in Seattle by letting a team with history get uprooted from its home and move somewhere else. Back in 2013, Chris Hansen was willing to buy the Sacramento Kings and relocate them to Seattle. But the NBA blocked this move, so a relocation is definitely not going to be on the table for now. Furthermore, it seems like the NBA teams are not done when it comes to sales. The Portland Trail Blazers have been listed for sale, and it's something that could hinder the chances of the Supersonics making a return to the sport in Seattle. Of course, the owner, Paul Allen, happens to own the Seahawks and co-owns the Sounders of the MLS. And the fact that he is now selling the Trailblazers is proof that not everyone in the league is ready to give up two teams entering just like that. It's definitely going to slow down the process of an NBA expansion, because we've seen what happened with the Celtics and how that affected the talks about the league adding two more teams in the league. Yes, it makes no sense to compare the Trailblazers and the Celtics' values, but we are talking about a team that has participated in the league for 55 years and won the chip back in 1977. So it's not like they don't have any history at all. But if this infamous expansion is to come, what would it mean for some teams that participate in the Western Conference but are not exactly placed geographically in the West? Minnesota and New Orleans are two of those, and with the two new candidates being cemented in the West, it would likely mean that these two already existing franchises are going to be moved to the Eastern Conference to make place for the upcoming rivals. Be that as it may, it could cause a disruption in the flow that took so long to establish. And all in all, it's a risky move that could bring a lot of headaches to the modern-day NBA, but one that we seemingly can't avoid at all. With all this in mind, what do you think about a possible NBA expansion, and more importantly, do you think that it's going to hurt the legacy of the sport or add more value to it? Let us know in the comments below.